Hello, my beautiful reader friends. It's Tiffany with an IE, as you can see. Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be discussing all the books that I read in May, and it was a little bit better of a reading month, so I was still in kind of a slump, but I read a little bit more than April. So in total, I read 10 books. I gave all of them 5 stars except for one book. This one book I gave 3 stars, and you will see why. So let's just get into this. So the first book I read was Alatsaway by Darcy Little Badger. This is such a great book. Indigenous rep is awesome, and yeah, it's actually pretty heavy. I don't know what they put in making this book, but yeah, and it's super pretty. It has this underneath the dust jacket. So yeah, and I read this for my friend DJ's Instagram book club chat, and well, for his book club, and then we had a book chat over Zoom with the author, and she was just so sweet, and it's really great. So highly recommend this one. Yeah, it has a bit of like a mystery in it, and there's also like kind of necromancy, but like the main character, Alatsaway, her companion is a ghost dog named Kirby, so it's really cool. Okay, that was 5 stars. Now on to the next book I read, which is actually my 3-star read. It is Oliver's Story. This is the sequel to Love Story, which I read. Did I read it in April? I think I did. Yeah, so it was Love Story was one of the picks for my puzzle TBR game, and I did enjoy it. I gave that 4 stars. And I mean, like, the ending had me crying, but there were like some offensive terms and just like outdated things in it, so that's why I didn't get 5 stars for me. For Oliver's Story, so Oliver is moving on from the tragic ending of a love story, or of Love Story, and yeah, finding new love and stuff. So anyways, it started out pretty good and stuff, and it was less offensive than the first one, and like about halfway through I was thinking like, oh, maybe this one will get 5 stars for me. But then the ending happened, and boy was I wrong. Like, oh my gosh, I was like quite mad at the ending. So I'm like, this whole book, it had this build up, and then like second or third to last chapter, um, it all falls apart. So I was just like, no, it kind of like ruined it for me and stuff. So I'm like, maybe I should have just stopped at the first book, because yeah. So it got 3 stars for me. And then the next book I read was this picture book called A Unicorn Named Rin by Crystal Z. Lee. I did a video review for this on my channel, and it's such a cute picture book. I highly recommend. It has to do with Rin, who is this Chinese unicorn, and this princess who asks Rin to go find her phoenix friend who has disappeared. And it's just like such a great tale of friendship, and has all these mythical beasts and some Chinese culture imbued in it, and folklore, Chinese folklore. It's wonderful. So highly, highly recommend. 5 stars. Next, I read quite a bit of picture books this month, but I read another picture book called Ambitious Girl by Mina Harris. She is the niece of Kamala Harris, our vice president. And yeah, like, I really love this picture book. It was so inspiring. It was like talking about how women who are like strong and ambitious and in positions of leadership are often told like no, and that like she's too ambitious, she's too strong. But this little girl sees that, and she's like, like, I'm not gonna bow down to like other people's whims and fancies and expectations and stuff. So yeah, it was such a great empowering book, especially like so good for to model to like younger kids and stuff. And yeah, I really loved it. It was 5 stars. Another picture book I read was I Dream of Pawpaw by Olivia Blackburn. She's written some YA books, and this is, I think it's her picture book debut. This one also has Chinese culture in it, and it's so wonderful. It's based on Livia's own experiences, her own experience immigrating from China as a kid and leaving her grandma behind. And yeah, so in the story, it's that's reflected, and also, yeah, it's really, really good. Also, there's like one page with just like a banquet of food, and it makes you hungry. So yeah, 5 stars. The next book, I put this in my little free library that, yeah. Oh, that's a bit of a spoiler. Okay, anyways, I had this book, but someone wanted it, so they took it. So I no longer have it. But I read Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History by Vashti Harrison. This is another picture book, but the way it's set up is that it has like these beautiful illustrations of like Black female leaders in history. And on the other page, it's like a mini biography, like several paragraphs about them. And yeah, so it's really informative. It's nonfiction. So it took me a little longer to read than like a regular picture book. But yeah, it was super impactful. I love the illustrations. I love the information. It was just so good. So that's another 5 stars for me. And I think I said I Dream of Pawpaw is 5 stars also. Okay. Anyways, the next book I read was Tales from the Hinterland by Melissa Albert. This is the, well, this is a bunch of short stories, but this is the collection of fairy tales that is talked about in The Hazelwood, which is the first book. So this is kind of like 2.5. But yeah, I love this. It's super dark and yeah, super dark, gruesome, macabre, like all the adjectives to describe that. But yeah, and then it has these illustrations inside, super creepy. But yeah, I was just in like a creepy fairy tale mood, so I really love this. It was so good, 5 stars. And then I read for my TBR game, I read Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This was amazing. Like the audiobook had a full cast, and oh my gosh, I love all the characters, and the ending, I was just like, oh my gosh, my heart. But yeah, highly recommend. If you liked their other series, the Illuminati Files, then you would love this series as well. Just space opera type books, and it's purple, so yay. 5 stars, by the way. The next book I read was The Tale of Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter. I gave it 5 stars. It was cute, it was short, and exactly like I remembered in childhood. So yeah, I mean, Peter Rabbit is pretty naughty, and you know, he pays a price for that. And last book I read was from Mysterious Galaxies Young Adult Book Club, which was The Infinity Quartz by Kemi Dawn Bowman. I have her other books, and this was one of my most anticipated releases for this year, and it did not disappoint. This is the first book I've read by her, and now she is a new favorite author. She's going to be an auto-buy author for me. This book is described as Westworld meets Warcross, and I'm like, well, I know about Westworld, haven't watched it, but I know it's like about a bunch of AI in the future, like robots and stuff. But Warcross, my homegirl Marie Lu, like, she's my favorite, and yeah, so love this book so much. It's about a girl who, like, on the eve of, well, so technically, she's 18, she's just graduated high school, and she's heading to her graduation party when she's murdered. And then she wakes up, and in the afterlife, she finds out that there's a virtual assistant in her world called Ophelia, much like Alexa or Siri in our world, but it has taken over the afterlife. And so she joins this rebel human resistance, and they are fighting against Ophelia to take back the afterlife. And yeah, the twists near the end, they were shocking. Like, oh my gosh. And there's definitely going to be a sequel. I don't know how many books will be in the series, but I am looking forward to the sequel. Like, I want it now. So yeah, so good. 5 million stars. And that's it for the books that I read this month. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books, and we'll chat in the comments. So yeah, yeah. See you later. Bye.